My system, I must say, has a built-in rebellious streak. It completely ignores all my requests. I am the female lead here. But towards the male lead and the female supporting character? Oh, you could say it grants whatever they ask for. The male lead made a deeply affectionate vow to me, Xiaxia, I only love you. If I ever lie to you, let me die without an intact corpse. The system received the command and arranged it immediately. And so, the male lead happily received his very own cremation urn. As for that green tea supporting female? She put on a pitiful act in front of the male lead. I don't have much time left to live. I only hope you can stay by my side for a little while. Am I wrong? The system made no mistake in its arrangements. And just like that, the supporting female was instantly gifted a comprehensive terminal cancer package. Aside from exclaiming awesome, what else could I even say? One day, during my 25th year, a thing calling itself a system suddenly appeared in my mind. It said it was 121, a subsystem of the Novel Transmigration Administration. Its purpose for existing was to change unreasonable plot points in the novel world and maintain the normal progression of the storyline. The system usually chose to bind with characters who suffered tragic fates due to ridiculous plot points, helping them change their destinies and fulfill their wishes. It said that I, Fu Lanxia, am the female lead of this world. I was immediately drawn in by the words fulfill their wishes. I want to be with Zhou Yi forever. I hope we will love each other for eternity. 121 simply gave a cold snort. Sorry, didn't catch that. Say it again. I repeated it many times, but it just gave me the exact same reply. Right then, I knew, what fulfilling wishes. It was all a scam. I am Fu Lanxia, 25 years old. At the exact moment 121 bound to me, I had just finished drafting my resignation letter. I was preparing to send it to my boss, giving up my job with an annual salary of 600,000 yuan to go to my boyfriend Zhou Ye's company and help him. 121 said, good thing I arrived in time to stop you from doing something stupid, because this decision to resign is the beginning of the entire tragedy of your life. I didn't understand why it would say that. What's wrong with fully supporting my boyfriend? 121 muttered, as expected, the female leads of these abusive romance novels are all entirely love-brained. I didn't hear it clearly and asked blankly, huh? It immediately changed its tone. This system says, if I hadn't come, you would have thrown away your career to willingly act as his nanny, right? I felt its words were incorrect. When you are in love, helping each other out is a given. Why call it being a nanny? 121 snorted twice and bluntly deleted my resignation letter. It judged coldly, talking to a love brain really goes nowhere. Then the system will let you see with your own eyes what your life will be like after resigning. As soon as it finished speaking, a massive influx of information flooded into my brain. It felt like a century had passed, yet it also felt like a mere instant. I saw all the love-hate entanglements between me, Zhou Yi, and his ex-girlfriend, Yu Shuyan. I saw Zhou Yi abandoning me time and time again for Yu Shuyan, scolding and humiliating me for her sake. I saw Yu Shuyan using just a few childish lies to snatch Zhou Yi away from me over and over again. I saw myself suffering absolute agony repeatedly, despairing and breaking down time after time. Then, time and time again, I would patch up my shattered heart myself, carefully offering it up to Zhou Yi, only to have him mercilessly smash it to pieces again. I saw him claiming he loved me with his mouth, but without hesitation taking my life because of Yu Shuyan's lies. I saw that after I died, he suddenly came to his senses, kneeling before my grave crying miserably, saying he had everything but had lost his love. I saw him wearing my urn on his chest and marrying Yu Shuyan. He said he wanted to spend his entire life torturing her as atonement for me. After watching all of this, I covered my mouth and rushed into the bathroom, throwing up so hard I thought I would vomit out my internal organs. It was truly far too disgusting. 121 asked me, host, do you still want to resign? I clenched my fists, tears streaming down uncontrollably. I choked out, resign what? Who said I'm resigning? Why should I resign for a scumbag? 121 was clearly very satisfied with my reaction. This time, it began to explain patiently, no longer as cold as before. Host, you must understand, a woman's true value is absolutely not to serve a man. Men will not be grateful just because you work hard to take care of them and help them. They will only get used to it, ignore it, and take your sacrifices for granted. I thought for a moment, connecting it to how Zhou Yi and I interacted when we were together, and I found its words made too much sense. The reason I wanted to resign was that Zhou Yi said his newly opened company was very busy and hoped I could come help. He said he hoped to see me while working. He hoped that after a busy day, when he came home, he could see the lights I had turned on for him, and eat the hot meal I had cooked with my own hands. He said that as long as I was by his side, he would feel happy and wouldn't feel tired. The old me, hearing these words, only felt that he loved me too much and couldn't bear to be apart from me, my heart brimming with emotion. But after seeing my short, pathetic life, I couldn't even empathize with myself from half an hour ago. 121 was truly a master at summarizing the main points. What he means is, when he is working, you have to help him work, and when he comes home, you have to have dinner ready for him. Host, he just wants you to throw away your 600,000 annual salary to be his free nanny. Earlier I thought it was wrong, but now that I think about it, there seems to be absolutely no problem with this interpretation. 121 added, furthermore, if a man's success requires a woman to sacrifice her career to achieve it, it only proves that the man is inherently a useless loser. Right. I absolutely did not need to sacrifice my hard-earned job opportunity for a useless loser. I studied hard, got into a good university, and found a good job, not to become a nanny for a man. I began to feel so fortunate. Thank goodness 121 came, otherwise, just taking this one wrong step would have doomed me to eternal damnation. Xiaxia, why are you coming home this late? You're a girl, it's not safe to be out so late. I was really worried about you. As soon as I opened the door, I saw Zhou Yi lounging on the sofa like a lord, a pile of empty takeout boxes completely littering the table in front of him. If it were the old me, my first reaction would definitely be, oh, he cares about me so much. But under the system's reminder, I instantly woke up. If he really cared about me? He could have come to pick me up from work instead of sitting at home playing games. If he really cared about me? He would have asked if I was cold, hungry, or tired, instead of sitting on the sofa waiting for me to clean up the battlefield he made. The system spoke up, host, the kind of care that only exists in words is the absolute cheapest thing. Don't be moved by those fake words. Not moved at all, thank you, I replied inwardly. I might have been a bit love-brained, but I'm not brainless. On the contrary, my brain works perfectly fine. The appearance of 121 was like a cold wind blowing away the fog that had clouded my reason. Now I felt indescribably lucky. This was the first time I looked straight at and seriously evaluated Zhou Yi. It was Fu Lanxia evaluating him, not the female lead looking at the male lead. I recalled the reason I liked him in the first place. It was the day of the college entrance exam. Yu Shuyan, who had been expelled for bullying me, called some thugs to block my way, hoping to ruin my exam. It was Zhou Yi, riding by on a motorcycle, who saved me and took me to the exam center. A young girl dreaming of a hero, I just fell for him like that. Later in college, I found out he and I were in the same school and major, and I was secretly even happier. At that time, he was dating Yu Shuyan, who was attending a vocational college in the same city. I had to hide my feelings deeply. Because of Yu Shuyan, he skipped countless classes, didn't participate in group projects, and was boycotted by his classmates. I silently did his assignments for him and reviewed his lessons with him. Back then, I even felt happy to help him. Thinking about it now, what kind of angst novel female lead was I? I was clearly the blind pursuit female lead in a male-centric wish fulfillment novel. So the only one getting abused was me, right? The more I thought about it, the more I hated it. I just wanted to go back and slap my past self a few times. I went to the kitchen to pour some water and found the water dispenser was completely empty. I really used to love so blindly. My eyes and mind were so clouded that I overlooked all these details. Doing everything myself and still doing it happily. I must have been sick. I put the cup down, turned my head, and asked Zhou Yi, "You finished all the water, why didn't you replace the bottle?" Zhou Yi frowned and blurted out, "Before, wasn't it always you?" He suddenly stopped, probably remembering that his company's project still desperately needed my help. He quickly coughed to cover it up, changing his tune. It's mainly because I accidentally sprained my back today, otherwise I would have changed it." He even pretended to hold his waist and stand up. "I guess changing the water bottle shouldn't be a problem, let me change it." Just as he opened his mouth, 121 also spoke, received a request from character Zhou Yi. Arranged. The very next second, Zhou Yi's face turned completely pale. He doubled over, baring his teeth in excruciating pain, and shakily reached his hand out toward me. "Xia, help me, I really sprained my back." I blinked. "I know. You just said it. What did you do today to sprain it so badly?" I really didn't want to care about him, but unfortunately, 121 required me to take Zhou Yi to the hospital. I curiously asked the system, "Can't I just break up with him directly and enjoy life on my own? That way, I won't end up as miserable as in the original plot, right?" 121 said, "For the stability of the novel world, as the female lead, you temporarily still have to follow the plot." But it immediately assured me that it wouldn't be for long. As long as a few major plot points don't change, ensuring that this world line remains stable after the alterations is enough. It also added, "With the system here, you will absolutely be fine. Trust me, you can change and grasp your own destiny. This is my mission, and also my responsibility." Although we had only been bound for a day, for some reason, I felt that this seemingly cold system was very reliable. After taking Zhou Yi to the hospital, I followed the plot and stayed to take care of him. Whenever he needed me, Zhou Yi's attitude would suddenly become much gentler. "Xia, it's a good thing I have you. The luckiest thing in my life is meeting you. Don't worry, I will definitely treat you well. I want you to become the happiest woman in the world." I smiled at him. "How about you buy me a 20 yuan cup of milk tea first to show your sincerity?" Zhou Yi froze, immediately letting go of my hand. Avoiding my gaze, he muttered, "What's so good about milk tea? It's bad for your skin, you should drink less of it." Then he started preaching to me. He talked at length, but the main theme revolved entirely around one thing: women shouldn't be greedy for money. He was probably afraid I wanted to spend his money. He even brought up going Dutch, saying that healthy romantic relationships nowadays require splitting expenses evenly. 121 fulfilled its duty to underline the main point for me. "Host, what he means is that it's fine for you to spend money on him, but if you spend his money, you're a gold digger." The current me understood immediately as soon as it was put like that. I instantly thought of our 2 years together. I had bought him countless gifts, while he had never bought me a single thing, not even paying for takeout once. I gave happily, and he accepted it as if it were perfectly natural. Yet, I had never seen anything wrong with it. This female lead status had truly covered up too many unreasonable things. 121, afraid I would be brainwashed by Zhou Yi, threw down a resolute sentence. "A man willing to spend money on you might not necessarily love you, but a man unwilling to spend money on you definitely does not love you." I let out a breath of relief, the last bit of confusion in my heart vanishing. I was very awake now, extremely wide awake. "I think what you said makes a lot of sense," I said. "So, let's do this. The money I spent ordering takeout for you these past few years, the gifts I bought you, the rent since we started living together, plus the medical bills just now, pay me back for all of it." I did a rough calculation, it's only about 100,000 yuan. Zhou Yi was stunned, then snapped irritably, Fu Lanxia, what do you mean? Why are you being so materialistic now? I put on an innocent face. Didn't you just say that? A healthy romantic relationship requires splitting expenses evenly. I'm just listening to you. He was left speechless, unable to come up with any good retort. He could only say he had a headache and wanted to rest for a bit, telling me to go home first. I put on a fake act, pretending to be reluctant to leave, before turning on my heel and walking away with a light, bouncy step. At the same time, 121 announced, received a request from character Zhou Yi. Arranged. The very next second, Zhou Yi's miserable screams echoed behind me. Doctor. Doctor, come quickly, my head hurts so much. I didn't stop walking, and the corners of my lips couldn't help but curl up. Serves him right. When I discovered that this skill of 121 only worked on the male lead and the female supporting character, I began intentionally leading Zhou Yi to tell lies, speeding up the plot's progress. Where are you going? Didn't you say you'd take me to the hospital? I clutched my stomach, pretending to be weak as I asked Zhou Yi when he was about to head out. Zhou Yi paused, frowned, and said in annoyance, can you stop being so whiny? It's just a stomachache, take a cab yourself. I have things to do, I don't have time to take you. He finished speaking and prepared to open the door to leave. My heart fluttered, and I hurriedly called him back. Is it really that important? My stomach really hurts, just take me there first. Right at that moment, his phone buzzed with a notification. He hastily pulled it out to check, his face clearly showing joy. He casually lied, one of my projects has a little problem. I have to go to the company right now. Be a little more understanding, will you? Watching his rushing figure leave, I immediately dropped my hands and shed my earlier weak demeanor. What project could he possibly have? He was clearly heading to the airport to pick up his white moonlight, Yu Shuyan, whom he longed for day and night. Thinking of this, I excitedly said to 121, you heard him, right? He just said his project has a problem. 121 seemed to sneer. Received a request from character Zhou Yi. Arranged. In the original plot, on the day Yu Shuyan returned to the country, Zhou Yi was also busy picking her up, taking care of a drunk Yu Shuyan all night. When I called him, he also used the excuse of project problems to cover it up, telling me not to bother him. Thinking of this, I added a reminder, 121, it absolutely has to be the specific project I'm pointing at, okay? 121 agreed very decisively, host, rest assured. Guaranteed to complete the mission. Ha, the system and I are truly kind-hearted beauties, responding to every request. While Zhou Yi and Yu Shuyan were having their long-awaited reunion and getting drunk together without coming home, I stayed at home and continuously called him. Unsurprisingly, he didn't answer and even blocked my number. Expressionless, I continued sending him WeChat messages. It took a whole 2 hours before he replied. Even through just text, I could feel his irritation. I told you I'm busy. Are you annoying or what? He didn't even bother to read what I sent. Probably afraid I'd continue bothering him and Yu Shuyan, he just turned off his phone entirely. I stared at the messages I had sent. Weren't you going to the company? Why haven't you arrived yet? Is the project problem really serious? Your team members said they couldn't reach you. If you see this message, reply to them right away. This project in Zhou Yi's hands was originally just about to secure investment funding. He was going to rely on it to skyrocket to success and become a rising star in the business world. But now, sorry, he'll just have to pray for his own good luck. Zhou Yi accompanied Yu Shuyan crazily for half a day, then took care of her in a hotel until morning, and even thoughtfully took her out for breakfast. Must have been hard on him. When he came back, he still remembered to bring me a basket of meat buns, which I don't eat, and soy milk, which I'm allergic to. He put on a see how good I am to you face and said, I was busy all night but still didn't forget to bring you breakfast. I told you to resign and come work at my company, but you refused. Fu Lanxia, do you really love me? I glanced at the cold food on the table, trying my best to adjust my expression, and looked at Zhou Yi with a touched face. Oh my God, you're so good to me. Zhou Yi, thank you for bringing me breakfast. The me of today loves you even more than the me of yesterday. 121 gave a speechless reminder, host, your acting is too exaggerated. I silently replied to 121, don't worry, have some confidence. He won't notice anything wrong. Sure enough, Zhou Yi revealed a smug smile. As long as you know I treat you well. I'm not trying to scold you, but you should also treat your boyfriend a little better. After all, finding a good man like me is your blessing. I gritted my teeth inwardly but tried to maintain my touched expression. Of course I know. But why would you doubt my love? For you, I would do anything. His eyes lit up. Then resign. I immediately cut him off. That won't do. Zhou Yi snorted coldly. You don't even want to resign to help me, yet you dare to say you'd do anything for me? Your love is truly cheap. I had to say a whole string of sweet nothings, making myself sick to my stomach, before I reluctantly managed to coax Zhou Yi. Seeing the fatigue on his face becoming more obvious, I changed the subject. The project at your company, is the problem resolved? His eyes darted away, avoiding my gaze, but his mouth kept bragging. With me stepping in, of course it's resolved. I pretended to be relieved of a heavy burden. That's great. Yesterday, your company's employees called me over a dozen times, saying they couldn't reach you and that the project problem was extremely serious. I called you a few times and you didn't answer. When I texted, you said you were busy. I thought you went to the company. You really are amazing. Such a serious problem and you solved it in just one night. Before I even finished my sentence, Zhou Yi hurriedly pulled out his phone. Once he turned it on and saw the messages, his whole body swayed, almost unable to stand steady. How could this be? He realized I was still standing right there and quickly shut his mouth. I knew exactly what was going on but still pretended to ask with concern, what's wrong? Are you too tired? His face was completely pale. How could he possibly be in the mood to answer me? He turned around and bolted outside. I pretended to care and chased after him for a few steps. Where are you going? You were busy all night, go back and catch up on some sleep. 121 commented, nice, nice. You really know how to rub salt in the wound. I gave 2 cold snorts in my mind. This is just the beginning. He'll have a long time to suffer later on. That problematic project of Zhou Ye's was a large-scale online game, which was also his golden ticket to turn his life around and reach the pinnacle of success. This game had passed all testing phases and was just waiting for launch day. But who would have thought? Due to his mistake, the entire database collapsed. Now his guts must be green with regret. And so, he came looking for me, completely discarding his usual arrogant facade. He groveled and begged me to help him restore the data. It should be known that I was famously a data technology genius. Even back in college, I developed my own software and earned quite a bit of money. Originally, I planned to start my own business after graduation and be my own boss. But he vehemently opposed it, even using the threat of breaking up to force me to abandon my plan. He advised me to find a normal, stable job, claiming it was so I would have time to take care of the family in the future. Fortunately, the listed company that bought my software saw my talent. The moment I graduated, they signed a contract with me directly. Because of this, Zhou Yi threw a tantrum and gave me the cold shoulder for days, stubbornly demanding I quit and go sell clothes at a mall. It wasn't until I received my first month's salary of over 30,000 yuan and bought him a computer that he finally dropped it. He clearly knew my talent, but his mind was only focused on how to suppress my development, all while beautifully sugarcoating it as for my own good. Ha, truly for my own good. This very game was the startup gift I had given him, and now I had decided I must take it back. I pretended to bury my face in the computer, studying it for half the day before finally announcing with a face full of regret, "The data is completely corrupted. It can't be saved." Then, I gently comforted him, "You know too, my technical skills aren't as good as yours. You stayed up all night and still couldn't fix it, how could I possibly fix it? Zhou Yi, you still have other projects, just let this one go." This was the exact sentence he had said to me in the past. He said I was a woman, so my technical skills were definitely not as good as his. He said the only reason I was top of the department was because he was busy dating at the time and slacked off. Oh wow, amazing, truly a top-tier gaslighting master. In the past, I believed him blindly. Now, thanks to 121's flawless, airtight education, I realized a piece of trash like him actually dared to manipulate people. I continued acting, my tone full of hidden sarcasm. "You tried your best. Don't worry, your teammates won't blame you. After all, you stayed up all night for the project, you worked really hard." I kept repeating the stayed up all night part, and the more he heard this comfort, the more obvious Zhou Ye's guilty conscience became. Uncomfortable, right? This was exactly the effect I wanted. Zhou Yi then demanded I remake an identical game. I refused. "Did you forget I have a binding contract with Shanghua?" He froze, then grabbed my shoulders. "Xia, how about you quit your job? Come to my side and help me. If the two of us join forces, we will definitely be invincible." This sentence wasn't entirely wrong. In the original plot, thanks to my help, he truly was invincible, but my sacrifice was treated like thin air. Later on, Zhou Yi even invited Yu Shuyan to be his assistant. Yu Shuyan and I were high school classmates. She was a terrible student and hated me, the top student. Throughout our school years, she constantly bullied me. I endured the humiliation until right before the college entrance exam, when I exposed her, causing her to lose her qualification to take the exam. She hated me to the bone even more for that. Now at his company, she relied on Zhou Ye's indulgence to find every possible way to go against me. And every single time, Zhou Yi sided with her. After one time when she blatantly framed me, he used the excuse that I wasn't an official employee to kick me out of the company for Yu Shuyan's sake. Afterward, he sweetly coaxed me, saying he didn't want me to work so hard and hoped I would stay home to be a good housewife for him. The original me was truly love-brained to believe such obvious lies. His company grew bigger and stronger. He became the high and mighty CEO Zhou, while I, the one he imprisoned at home using love, turned into a useless, yellow-faced housewife living off of him. I never wanted to live such a lowly life, holding my hand out for money like that. Absolutely not. Now, I only wanted to cooperate with 121, finish acting out the plot, and kick Zhou Yi away to live my own life. During this time, just like in the original plot, Yu Shuyan entered Zhou Ye's company as an assistant. Every few days, she would send me ambiguous photos of her and Zhou Yi to provoke me. Regarding this, on the surface, I cried miserably, but on the inside, I was grinning from ear to ear. Keep going, hurry up, show me something even more exciting. Finally, I waited until this day. Zhou Yi, do you really have to go now? Today is my birthday, you promised to celebrate it with me. I stood in the middle of a highway with heavy traffic, clinging to the car door, looking at Zhou Yi with tear-filled eyes. He originally intended to take me to Lin City to eat seafood. As a result, halfway there, Yu Shuyan called, crying and saying she cut her finger and was bleeding profusely. As soon as Zhou Yi heard this, without a second of hesitation, he kicked me out of the car and demanded to turn back to check on her. Zhou Yi frowned at me. Shuyan is injured, I have to take her to the hospital. Isn't it just a birthday? I'll make it up to you tomorrow. After saying that, he ruthlessly slammed the car door shut, abandoning me all alone on the highway. As soon as he drove off, I immediately wiped my tears away and calmly asked 121, did I act well? 121 seemed speechless. Are you acting in a Cheongyao melodrama? I couldn't help but laugh out loud. I excitedly asked, earlier you said you received a request from Yu Shuyen. How is she? 121 gave two arrogant snorts and said smugly, this system was afraid her wound, which was about to heal on its own, wouldn't be enough to arouse Zhou Ye's protectiveness, so I lent her a hand and made the cut a little deeper. I was curious. How deep? 121 immediately projected a screen for me to see. A 360-degree panoramic view of the depth. I looked at the image. Yu Shuyen only just realized that her index finger had been completely severed by one joint. This time, she was truly crying, and crying far more miserably than on the phone. There's no need to be that ruthless, is there? 121 snapped, then think about your own ending. I felt nauseous again. I gritted my teeth, why didn't you just chop off the whole hand? Wouldn't chopping off a whole hand be both neat and pretty? It would stimulate Zhou Ye's protectiveness even more. 121, your technique still needs a lot of improvement. Me, I guarantee I'll try harder next time. I called the police and waited for them to get me off the highway. I didn't go home, but instead called my best friend to go out and party for 2 whole days before returning in high spirits. After Yu Shuyen got her finger reattached, she clung to Zhou Yi even more. Over the next few days, she used all sorts of excuses to call Zhou Yi away. And so, after she suffered a headache so bad she rolled on the floor, a high fever that put her in a coma, a fall that broke her leg, a burn that peeled off a large patch of skin on her arm, a break-in at her house, and almost getting assaulted, she finally seemed to become wary of something and didn't dare to lie so casually anymore. But how could a habitual liar easily change her ways? As for Zhou Yi, every time he went to take care of Yu Shuyen, he would lie and say the company had issues and he needed to work overtime. And then he discovered that whenever he went to see Yu Shuyen, something would inevitably go wrong at his company. In just one short week, his company lost 2 projects, ruined 2 contracts, and 1 contract that had just been negotiated also developed problems. Now his entire company was a chaotic mess, and operations became difficult. He was battered and exhausted, with no mood left to pay attention to Yu Shuyen recovering in the hospital. So he came up with a brilliant plan. He told me to ask for a leave of absence to go to the hospital and take care of Yu Shuyen. He actually had the nerve to think of that. I swallowed my anger and tried to stay calm. Her parents are also in this city, and you're telling me to go take care of the person who bullied me? Zhou Yi, what the hell are you thinking? Over the phone, I could hear the dissatisfaction in his voice. How long has it been and you're still lying? Back then, who exactly bullied who? Do you think I don't know? Fu Lanxia, you ruined her chance to take the college entrance exam, caused her to get expelled, and forced her to go abroad. She didn't even bother to hold all these things against you, yet you still have the gall to bring it up? Yu Shuyen. She had a pure, innocent face, but lying was as natural as drinking water to her. As long as she cried a little, Zhou Yi would believe she was completely innocent. I knew clearly that explaining would be useless, so I used the excuse of a business trip to refuse. Because I didn't obey, he resorted to the Cold War treatment again, not coming home for over 2 months and ignoring my messages. I still had to act according to the plot, sending him several sickeningly cheesy messages. But in reality, I couldn't be happier. I focused on my career and used all my free time to upgrade that game. It wasn't until Zhou Yi proactively called. Shuyen is being discharged from the hospital today. Her leg isn't fully healed, so I'm letting her stay at our place for a while. Take a half-month leave and take good care of her. Oh, right, come home early today to buy groceries and make some good food. I'll send you a list on WeChat of what she likes and what she can't eat. He finished speaking and hung up without waiting for my reply. Oh my God, I could only exclaim. Oh my God, Lanxia, if you didn't want to welcome me, I can just leave. Don't look at me like that, I'm scared. Zhou Yi carried Yu Shuyen home, and as soon as he opened the door, he saw me carrying a suitcase, preparing to go out. When the two of them walked in, I even deliberately stepped aside. From beginning to end, I didn't even spare a glance at that pair of scumbags. However, the acting addict Yu Shuyen started up again. She wrapped her arms around Zhou Ye's neck, pretending to tremble, buried her face in his neck, and sobbed. Like a pre-programmed robot, Zhou Yi immediately turned and growled at me. Fu Lanxia apologized to Shu Yan immediately. My reaction? Sorry, I'm about to miss my flight. You two take your time acting, I'm leaving first. Both of them were stunned. I had already stepped out the door when Zhou Yi roared, come back here. Didn't I tell you to take time off to take care of Shu Yan? Who gave you permission to leave? I turned my head back, my expression incredibly innocent. But I never agreed to that. Also, if I take time off, are you going to pay my salary? Do you even know how much I make a month? Before asking me to be a nursemaid, you should check if you're even qualified. Yu Shuyan cried even more pitifully. Brother Yi, how about you take me back? I don't want to make Lanxia unhappy, and I don't want you two fighting because of me. Zhou Yi hurriedly coaxed her. Don't worry, I said I would take care of you, so I definitely will. Just rest easy here, no one dares to bully you. Fu Lanxia. When he raised his head, what greeted him was a slamming door. I'm out of here. Only the plot-bound female lead Fu Lanxia would willingly serve her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. The freed Fu Lanxia only wanted to live for herself. This time, I was going out for real business. After months of hard work, I had finished that online game. I chose to partner with the Shanghua Group, using my technology as equity. After seeing the game, Shenghua's CEO immediately decided to sign an investment and publishing contract with me. Today, I was going out to attend the game's launch event. As soon as the game hit the market, it exploded, servers were overloaded, and positive reviews poured in like rain. Later on, as player levels increased, the game would update with countless items, weapons, and costumes. It was safe to say that with just this game, I could lie back and live comfortably for the rest of my life. I couldn't help but sigh to 121, this is what true life is all about. 121's voice also rarely sounded relaxed. Of course. First you are yourself, then you are the female lead. Furthermore, you can only be the female lead of your own life. Remember, no matter what time it is, never lose yourself. I suddenly found this sentence familiar, but didn't think much of it. Understood, teacher. 121, don't worry, teacher, I could never go back to being that love-brained idiot from before. I'm just waiting for your command to immediately kick that scumbag couple away and enjoy my beautiful life alone. 121 chuckled. Soon. When it said soon, it meant really soon. When I returned, Zhou Yi had done a complete 180, his attitude becoming incredibly flattering. Because his company was on the verge of bankruptcy, if he couldn't pull an investment, his only option was to dissolve the company. Therefore, he hoped I could act as a middleman and help him pull in an investment from Shanghua. I thought for a moment about the upcoming plot and nodded in agreement. In the original plot, there was also a segment where Zhou Yi partnered with Shanghua, but it wasn't introduced through me. At that time, relying on that game, his reputation soared, and Shanghua took the initiative to seek him out. He had negotiated everything, and only the contract signing was left. Right at that moment, Yu Shuyan destroyed the contract and framed me, who happened to be bringing him lunch, in the meeting room, pushing all the blame onto me. Zhou Yi slapped me hard across the face right in front of everyone and roared at me to get lost. On the way back, I was caught in the rain and fainted right at the doorway. That night, when Zhou Yi came home, he didn't care that I was unconscious. Instead, he kicked me hard and told me to stop pretending to be pitiful. After that high fever, my lungs developed problems, leaving me with a chronic cough. Because of this, Zhou Yi frequently despised me, complaining that I couldn't be brought out in public. Thinking about myself in the plot made me sick again. Actually, thinking back, during the 3 years I was with Zhou Yi, I lived exactly like that, lowly and pitiful. Thanks to my connections, Zhou Ye's company quickly reached a cooperation agreement with Shanghua. On the day of the contract signing, Yu Shuyan predictably couldn't hold back and started playing tricks. She chased all the other employees away, and then, right in front of me, poured a full cup of strong coffee straight onto the contract. She smiled disdainfully. Guess whether Zhou Yi will believe you, or believe me. I glanced at the ruined contract and smirked slightly. Who he believed wasn't important, what was important was that he was doomed. Only an idiot like her couldn't see that Zhou Ye's company was already a spent force, just waiting for Xinghua's investment to save its life. Her head was only filled with fighting over men and seeking a man's favor. Aside from those things, her life seemed to have nothing else. But I suppose I didn't have the right to talk. If 121 hadn't arrived, I would also be a love-brained idiot actively seeking abuse. But even if I was stupid, I was only stupid because I loved Zhou Yi too much. I would never do something like sabotage the company's interests. Yu Shuyan remained arrogant. Zhou Yi wouldn't bear to blame me. On the contrary, you'd better prepare yourself. Right at that moment, the meeting room door opened, and Zhou Yi, looking jubilant, led Xinghua's people inside. Yu Shuyan instantly changed her expression and threw herself into Zhou Ye's arms, crying. Brother Yi, it's all my fault. I accidentally made Lanxia angry, and she threw coffee at me. I shouldn't have dodged. If I hadn't dodged, the contract wouldn't be ruined. Zhou Ye's hand had just raised to comfort her, but the moment he heard the words contract ruined, he instantly pushed Yu Shuyan away. What did you say? Yu Shuyan stumbled back, looking in disbelief at Zhou Yi, who hadn't immediately coaxed her. Brother Yi, you. Zhou Ye's eyes turned red. He grabbed the contract. Because Yu Shuyan purposely poured a full cup of coffee on it, the paper was already mush. Zhou Yi went crazy. What did you do? He lunged forward as if to hit me, but was instantly blocked by Xinghua's personnel. The person from Shanghua smiled a seemingly polite smile. President Zhou, calm down. The cooperation contract between you and Shanghua was fully promoted by our vice president from beginning to end. What reason do you think she would have to destroy it? Yu Shuyan immediately interjected, because of jealousy. Jealous that Brother Yi is good to me. Oh. I bluntly cut her off, smiling at Zhou Yi. Do you remember the condition for me agreeing to help you sign the contract with Shanghua? Zhou Yi froze, finally remembering. Security cameras. You said we absolutely had to install cameras in the meeting room. Facing Yu Shuyan's suddenly pale face, I nodded. Exactly. So let's check the cameras and see who exactly destroyed this contract. As soon as Zhou Yi ordered someone to retrieve the footage, Yu Shuyan immediately fainted. Zhou Yi instantly forgot everything else, picked her up, and ran to the hospital. After they left, Xinghua's people and I walked out of the meeting room and laughed. Sorry for the trouble, having to act in a play with me. The employee smiled slyly. It's nothing. Anyone who doesn't take free money is an idiot. Besides, destroying a competitor company early on benefits us too. We exchanged a knowing smile and left together. When Zhou Yi returned from the hospital, what he received was a notification that the contract with Shanghua was cancelled. Because he was the breaching party, he had to pay Shanghua 50 million yuan in penalty fees. Zhou Yi was dumbfounded. He came looking for me again. Before he could even open his mouth, I started crying and wailing hysterically. 121 had taught me that the best way to avoid being falsely accused was to strike first and accuse them instead. I cried and screamed, it's all your fault. Because of your contract, I had to drop several projects just to beg for this opportunity. You ruined it yourself. I was about to get promoted and get a raise, and you ruined it all. Of course, that was a lie, I was just taking my annual leave. Zhou Yi knew he was in the wrong, but his gene for admitting mistakes simply didn't exist. He tried to shift the blame onto me, just as he always did. If you hadn't picked a fight with Xu Yan, how could the contract have failed? Do you know how important this cooperation is to my company? Your capriciousness could very well bankrupt my company. Blatantly turning black into white, and yet he could still speak with such righteous indignation. It was truly disgusting. I had wanted to scold him for a long time. Seeing that 121 didn't object, I went crazy and unleashed a torrent of curses, scolding him like dumping a bucket of water over his head. After scolding him, I wiped away fake tears and said, "Go check the security cameras right now and see who exactly destroyed the contract. And while you're at it, use your empty brain to think. Even if the contract was ruined, printing another copy would have solved it. You were the one who abandoned Xinghua's people and left on your own, ruining this cooperation. Go find the reason within yourself." Zhou Yi had never been scolded by me like this. In front of him, I had always been a little son, warm, cheerful, lively, and obedient. I listened to him in everything, never even talking back. Now, completely stunned by my cursing, he stood frozen for a long time. By the time he reacted, I was long gone. I had a movie date with my best friend. Who had time to waste on a scumbag? Ah, right, another plan should be set in motion. 121. Where's the stuff I asked you to collect earlier? 121 sounded smug. Don't worry. When this system takes action, nothing is impossible. Then I was relieved. After Zhou Yi checked the cameras, he finally realized he had wronged me. But it was too late, his company's project had completely failed. Because he was publicly sued by Shenghua, his reputation was also thoroughly ruined. The team that had followed him for so long was completely disappointed by his nature of loving the beauty, not the kingdom. They disbanded and left the company in droves. Zhou Yi was so anxious that blisters formed on his mouth. With no other options, he could only play his final trump card. He proactively revealed his hidden identity, the second young master of the Zhou Group, a top-tier enterprise. He returned to the Zhou family, met with the person in charge, and tried to use the Zhou Group's influence to save his company. It was just a pity that his plan was destined to fail. Because from the very moment I decided to break free from the identity of the angst novel female lead, I had told 121 to prepare. It collected all the evidence of Zhou Yi repeatedly putting his company in danger for Yu Shuyan's sake, including the Shenghua cooperation incident. 121 even specially made a PPT presentation and a video and sent it straight to the Zhou family. Now, everyone in the Zhou family knew that Zhou Yi was the kind of person who would throw everything away for a woman. They were businessmen, even if he was their son, they would never throw money out the window for him to play with. Just like that, Zhou Yi's plan to seek help from the Zhou family failed miserably. But there was also good news. The Zhou family stopped letting him go out and cause trouble, mainly because they were afraid he would ruin the family's reputation. They dragged him back home and threw him a mediocre subsidiary company to manage, saying he could only return to the main headquarters once the company showed improvement. Zhou Yi was naturally extremely dissatisfied, but he couldn't do anything about it. He was now like a cornered dog, only able to go back and wag his tail for pity. Yet, in the original plot, his act of publicly revealing his identity for Yu Shuyan was a dazzling, shining moment. Yu Shuyan offended a young master's girlfriend at a bar and was pinned to the ground and forced to kowtow and apologize. Zhou Yi acted out a hero saving the beauty scene, but ended up being humiliated instead. He went crazy, beat the guys up, then stepped on his enemy's head and declared to the murmuring crowd, "Zhou Group, Zhou Yi. I'll wait for you to come seek revenge." The Zhou Group was one of the top 4 major families. Who would dare offend them? After that badass display, Zhou Yi carried Yu Shuyan out of the bar. And what about me? On that same day, I was abandoned by Zhou Yi halfway up a mountain and almost met with a terrible fate. A group of thugs blocked my path, intending to do something vile, and I had to risk my life to escape. When I went home and told him about it, not only did I not receive a shred of sympathy, but he also said, Why didn't they do anything to anyone else, but only targeted you? You should reflect on yourself. First, look at the clothes you were wearing to see if there's a problem. If you yourself aren't decent, don't blame others for having dirty thoughts. In the end, you brought this upon yourself. But the dress I wore that day was just a normal long dress, and it was even a gift from him. It was only later I found out it was originally something he bought for Yu Shuyen. She thought it was ugly and refused to wear it, so he handed it down to me. The more I recalled the old plot, the more thankful I was that 121 had arrived. Without it, I really wouldn't know how to face that dark future. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Ever since Zhou Yi found out Yu Shuyen was the one who ruined the contract, he stopped contacting her. When Yu Shuyen proactively sought him out, he only gave perfunctory replies, completely lacking his previous gentleness. But after Yu Shuyen found out Zhou Yi was from the Zhou family, she understood even more clearly that she couldn't let this man go. Therefore, she decided to push her plan forward. That day, Zhou Yi was sweetly flattering me, asking me to arrange a meeting with Sheng Hua to negotiate withdrawing the lawsuit, saying he wanted to settle the compensation privately. Before he could finish, Yu Shuyen knocked on the door. I went to open it. She was wearing no makeup, the fake kind without lipstick, her face pale, making her look even more pitiful. She let out a cry, "Brother Yi." And 2 streams of tears just fell. I quietly walked back to the sofa, preparing to watch a good show. Yu Shuyen cried and threw herself into Zhou Ye's arms, her hands tightly wrapping around his waist. "Brother Yi, I know you're mad at me, but I had my own bitter reasons for doing that. I was just too scared. I was afraid you would truly fall in love with Fu Lanxia. I was afraid you would abandon me. I only wanted to prove my place in your heart. Brother Yi, because I don't have much time left." Zhou Ye's heart had already softened when he saw her crying. Now, hearing her say this, he immediately grew tense. "What did you say?" Yu Shuyen smiled bitterly and pulled out a medical diagnosis report. "I have cancer. The doctor said I have at most 3 months left to live. For these last 3 months, I don't ask for anything else. I only hope you can stay by my side. Just for these last 3 months. Can you?" TSK, TSK. Still the exact same script as the original plot. Zhou Yi instantly believed it completely and nodded in agreement, completely ignoring the fact that he had just proposed to me and promised we would have our wedding next month. If it were the original me, I would have questioned them, would have been morally kidnapped by Yu Shuyen, would have been scolded by Zhou Yi for being vicious, and then left crying in pain. As for the current me, before they even had time to morally kidnap me, I spoke up first. "Cancer, right? Ah, that doesn't matter, I agree. Oh, you want to hold a wedding too, right? Have you booked a wedding dress? If not, I can help you book one." This reaction of mine clearly caught them both off guard. Zhou Yi recovered first, nodding in satisfaction. "You are very understanding." Yu Shuyen broke into a triumphant smile. It was just a pity she couldn't hear 121's notification, otherwise she definitely wouldn't have been able to smile. Received a request from character Yu Shuyen. Arranged. With my enthusiastic support, Yu Shuyen and Zhou Yi held an incredibly grand wedding. On the day of the wedding, I even specially invited 30 media outlets to live stream the event across the entire internet. Of course, the money for this was swiped from Zhou Ye's credit card. Then, at Yu Shuyen's request, Zhou Yi stood in front of the cameras and read a speech vowing eternal love. The main point was that regardless of birth, old age, sickness, or death, he would never leave her. And then, right there at the wedding, Yu Shuyen coughed up blood and fainted. She was rushed to the hospital. As soon as she woke up, she made another request. "I want to go register our marriage with you. My final wish is to see your name and my name on a marriage certificate. Will you agree? I won't live much longer anyway. Once I'm dead, I won't get in the way of you marrying Lanxia." Zhou Yi immediately agreed. Okay, let's go register right now. They originally wanted to drag me into their performance, but unfortunately, I didn't want to play along. Let me call a cab for you two right now. Go quickly, you two. The result was one looking bewildered and the other looking annoyed. It was all my fault for showing my excitement too clearly. But what could I do? I was about to get rid of these two idiots, who wouldn't be happy. Yu Shuyan successfully registered her marriage with Zhou Yi. She even specially asked her parents to empty their savings to hype the news up all over the internet, anxious to stamp her identity as Mrs. Zhou. She didn't forget to turn around and show off to me, saying something about how she would never yield the position by Zhou Ye's side to me. I gave her a standard 8-tooth smile. Don't worry, even death won't be able to separate you two. I didn't expect that even though I cooperated to this extent, she still didn't plan on letting me off. That day, I went out, ate and drank my fill, and had a great time. As soon as I got home, I saw Zhou Yi holding Yu Shuyan, whose clothes were disheveled, on the sofa, comforting her with a heartbroken expression. In the middle of the living room, a thug was pinned face down to the floor by a bodyguard, unable to move. Seeing me return, Yu Shuyan put on a face full of grievance and indignation. Lanxia, I'm about to die, why won't you let me go? Oh, my final scene has arrived. This is my life or death trial. In the original plot, I died precisely because of this incident. In the original, Yu Shuyan was faking her illness. She knew she couldn't fake it her whole life, so she decided to eliminate me. She hired thugs to pretend to assault her, only to be saved by Zhou Yi just in time. Those thugs stubbornly bit back, claiming I paid them to ruin Yu Shuyan. And Zhou Yi, who never believed me, ruthlessly decided my fate. Since you are so vicious, I will let you taste your own methods. He locked me and those 6 thugs in the basement. There was no water, no food. At first, those thugs turned into beasts. Later, they turned into literal wild animals and ate me alive. When I died, not even a complete skeleton remained. That tragic, gruesome death was the exact reason why I vomited after watching the whole plot. You ask why I suddenly stopped being love-brained? This is the reason. Fu Lanxia, what else do you have to say? Zhou Yi glared at me, grinding his teeth. I shrugged. Please, watch these thugs fight to expose me. 121 immediately projected a full HD, uncensored video right in the middle of the living room. In the video, it was Yu Shuyan herself who opened the door for the thugs. She sat on the sofa and instructed them, Zhou Yi will be back at exactly 8:30. When the time comes, you guys rush in, pretend to assault me, tear my clothes, and leave some marks. That'll be enough. She asked, remember what to say when asked who ordered you? The leader replied lazily, just say that some bitch named Fu Lanxia sent us, right? Yu Shuyan frowned slightly. Right, but you have to act well. Don't stutter when you say the name, it'll look too fake. The thugs nodded. Got it. But why pretend? Why not do it for real like the previous times? Yu Shuyan looked at them with utter disgust. Who wants to play with you guys? Let me tell you, I've already married Zhou Yi. From now on, I am Mrs. Zhou. Once his parents die, this entire Zhou group will be mine. One thug looked confused. But aren't you dying of cancer? Yu Shuyan scoffed and broke into a triumphant smile. I'm faking it. I'm perfectly healthy. I only did all this to marry Zhou Yi legitimately. They had agreed smoothly, but before Yu Shuyan could even call start, they lunged at her like a pack of starving wolves. They swallowed her whole. She said to pretend, but unfortunately, 121 couldn't stand liars. Its motto was granting every request. Thus, the fake instantly became real. When Zhou Yi received Yu Shuyan's pre-scheduled distress message and brought people back, the scene he witnessed was Yu Shuyan being ravaged by the thugs. What's done is done. Yu Shuyan had no choice but to grit her teeth and continue acting. Because she had genuinely suffered trauma, her words were even more convincing. If it hadn't been for 121, the original ending would have been my ending. Zhou Yi forcefully pushed Yu Shuyan away, looking at her with utter disgust. Why did you do this? Just as Yu Shuyan was about to explain, she coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood, convulsed, and collapsed. However, Zhou Yi, who had just watched the video and was shocked to his core, no longer believed her. In a fit of rage, he kicked Yu Shuyan squarely in the stomach. Still acting? Get up and get lost right now. That kick directly sent Yu Shuyan flying 2 meters away. Yu Shuyan actually did have cancer, and she had less than a month left to live. Zhou Yi stubbornly refused to believe it, insisting it was fake and forcing the doctors to re-examine her. But her body deteriorated extremely rapidly, her hair fell out completely, and her teeth began to fall out one by one. Even more horrifyingly, her body started to rot, and she screamed in endless agony every single day. I peeked through 121's screen. Her entire body was covered in purulent sores, swollen to the point where she didn't even look human, lying on the bed screaming miserably. After being swindled out of their life savings by her, her parents originally couldn't care less whether she lived or died. It wasn't until I sent them the video of Zhou Yi pushing and kicking Yu Shuyan that they suddenly transformed into loving parents. On one hand, they wailed in the hospital, on the other hand, they made a massive fuss about Zhou Yi committing domestic violence. Meanwhile, they didn't forget to send the video to the Zhou family for blackmail. Zhou Yi ground his teeth in anger, but despite having a mouth, he couldn't explain himself. After all, their wedding of the century and their marriage certificate were real. Furthermore, 121 released all the sweet photos and videos of their dates from everywhere over the past year. Everyone sided with Yu Shuyan and helped her condemn Zhou Yi. Even the Zhou group was implicated. Seeing that this useless son was causing trouble that could affect the entire family, the Zhou family immediately made a decision and announced they were severing ties with Zhou Yi. They bluntly stated that their family did not have such a beastly son. As soon as he was cut off by the Zhou family, Yu Shuyan's parents were instantly unhappy. They hadn't extorted any money yet. They ran to find Zhou Yi, only to be beaten up by the currently furious Zhou Yi. 121 helped out again and released that video. In an instant, Zhou Yi's label as a violent pervert could no longer be hidden. Everyone guessed that Yu Shuyan had been tortured to this state by him. With the help of netizens, Yu Shuyan's parents reported to the police and sued Zhou Yi. Because the evidence was so conclusive and the impact so severe, Zhou Yi was sentenced to 6 years in prison for intentional injury. During the appeal period, he pleaded with me multiple times to testify for him. Me? I played dumb to every question. Whenever asked, I said I didn't know him. Fortunately, because of Yu Shuyan, he had always kept our relationship a secret. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get away so easily. Only at this point was he willing to admit that I was his girlfriend. Too bad no one believed him. Clearly, in the eyes of outsiders, he and I had absolutely no connection, not even a single photo together. So everyone just said Zhou Yi was having delusions. No matter how he struggled, he ultimately had to go to jail. 6 years later, I was 31 years old. My assets had surpassed 100 million. I had my own company and was a relaxed, prosperous female boss. Whenever I felt like it, I went traveling. Everywhere I went, I would find a handsome tour guide to accompany and serve me full-time. Good service, good attitude, and sweet talking, it was much more refreshing than being in a relationship. Right? By all rights, my fate had been completely changed. 121 should have unbound from me and left by now. But strangely, it stayed by my side for 6 whole years without ever bringing up leaving. I had grown accustomed to this invisible friend, used to venting and chatting with it, so naturally, I didn't want it to leave. That was until the day Zhou Yi was released from prison. That day, I had just finished my trip to Iceland. As soon as I stepped out of the car at the gate of my residential community, I was blocked by a haggard figure. I was startled and let out a scream. Immediately, several well-trained young security guards rushed over, pinned the man down, and profusely apologized to me. They said this guy had been loitering at the gate for days. They thought he was a homeless man and didn't expect his target to be me. I had been reminded by 121 beforehand. That pathetic figure was Zhou Yi. Zhou Yi finally managed to squeeze out a hoarse voice, calling my name. Xiaxia, it's me. It's Zhou Yi. I'm back, Xiaxia. I knew you must still be waiting for me. Actually, I've always been thinking about you. I finally understand that the person I love is you. My disgusted expression must have been too obvious. He hastily wanted to prove himself, opening his mouth to swear an oath. Xiaxia, in this life, I only love you. If I'm lying to you, let me get hit by a car. 121, received a request from character Zhou Yi. Arranged immediately. The very next second, a car suddenly rushed over. It crashed straight into Zhou Yi, sending him flying to the ground before running over his legs. It was Yu Shuyan's parents' car. They themselves said they only lost focus for a second, and the car just drove itself. Who would believe that? But no one blamed them, nor did anyone care whether Zhou Yi lived or died. It was still me who called 120 to take Zhou Yi to the hospital, and then notified the Zhou family. Just like when I was bound by 121, having just finished drafting my resignation letter to give up my 600,000 yuan job for him. The Zhou family had no choice but to take over Zhou Ye's medical treatment. Who would have expected that 3 months later, Zhou Yi would appear in front of me in a wheelchair? He was even thinner than before, looking like nothing but a walking skeleton, emitting a strong foul stench. Zhou Yi cried miserably, memories seeming to flood back. Xiaxia, I was wrong. From now on, I will definitely love you well, I will absolutely not be unfaithful again. Can we get married? If I lie to you, let me die a horrible death without an intact corpse. Before he could even finish his sentence, I had already run away. What kind of madman is this? Spouting nonsense. His body was too weak, there was no way he could push his wheelchair to chase after me. I could only hear his screams of regret. Later, I heard that a patient who escaped from a mental hospital died in an alley, torn apart by a pack of wild dogs. He truly did die a horrible death without an intact corpse. 121 quietly waited for me to finish watching everything unfold. It used a voice that was both unfamiliar and familiar, a voice that was incredibly gentle, to say to me, Fu Lanxia, from now on, you are free. You have to live well. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. My eyes widened in disbelief. 121. Its final voice was clearly my own voice. I vaguely realized something, and suddenly, tears kept pouring down uncontrollably. The end.